Good morning. I am in the garden this morning and I am going to be planting some succession sown cucumbers. And what's interesting about these cucumbers is that I started the seeds in soil blocks. So if you're not familiar with soil blocks, it's a way of starting seeds to have transplants for your garden without using any plastic pots. Let me show you one. So I just sprayed these with water, so they're a little bit smushed over, but here's the cucumber in the soil block, and you can see the roots. And the idea behind this is several reasons. Is one, you don't have to have any plastic pots, and that means you don't have to clean any plastic pots at the end. But also, what happens is when the roots hit the edges of the soil block, they stop growing out and they do something called air pruning, and they start branching within the soil block. So it creates a very healthy root system. It also has less transplant shock than banging it out of a pot, like taking it out like that. Today I'm planting some Painted Serpent, General Lee, and Dragon's Egg cucumbers. So I'm going to put the Painted Serpent in first, and I've got a cattle panel trellis arch that they're going to grow up. Make sure to have my labels. I always forget my labels. Okay. I forgot something to dig with, so I'm just going to use my hands. Just dig a small hole, pop the soil block in. I'm going to put this right next to it so it's got something to climb up. That's it. It's hard to see where I put it. All right, let's do another one. We're going to do another Painted Serpent. Actually, let's look at this one. Okay, so this one, I must have put 2 seeds in the soil block, but that's okay. I am just going to carefully disentangle them, just like that. All right, that's 2 Painted Serpent. Let's put one more in over here. There we go. I've never grown Painted Serpent before, but they're super long with nice striped striations that look really cool. And obviously, I guess they look like snakes or serpents, and that's how they get their name. This year, I'm growing a lot of things based on how they look, and I have no idea if they're going to taste good or not, but that's okay. And if they don't taste good, I just won't grow them again. All right, the next one up is, I have one more Painted Serpent to go in. Put you right here. There we go. All right, the next one I have is a Dragon's Egg, and this is also new to me, but I have already had some elsewhere in the garden that I got to taste, and they're very interesting. They are like fat, like an egg, and pale whitish green, and they're sweeter to me than a normal cucumber. The one drawback so far of the Dragon's Egg, though, is that it has a lot more of the seed flesh than other cucumbers, and I don't really like that part. I like the crunchy, more dense flesh better, so that's the one drawback. But as of now, I would grow the Dragon's Egg again, especially since it looks cool. All right, next we're doing Dragon's Egg. Also like to put on my tag when they were started, just so I can see, like, once they start producing, I can see how long it took from seed to actually getting fruit, because it's not always the same as what you see on the seed packet. All right, where am I going to put you? You're going to come further over. Put you in over here. Here's my Dragon's Egg cucumber. You can see it's got one true leaf, meaning it's a leaf that looks like all of what the adult leaves look like. And here you can see the cucumber's cotyledon leaves. These are the seed leaves. So these are the first leaves to come out, and they don't need any extra nutrition. All the nutrition that these two leaves need is contained in the seed, which I think is so cool. Once you start getting true leaves, that's when, depending on what you are starting your seeds in, you might need to add some extra plant food. There you go. All right, and lastly, we have a General Lee cucumber. And this is just one of your normal slicing cucumbers. I'm actually not growing any pickling cucumbers this year, but I can take a slicing cucumber and make refrigerator pickles out of it. It doesn't have to be a pickling variety to do that. All right, General Lee started on June 11th. You're gonna go right here. Perfect. All right. I also have, oh my gosh, what are you? Look at this, you guys. Hold on, let me take some of this stuff out. I also started some Swiss chard because you typically think of Swiss chard as a fall winter vegetable, but it does really well in heat also. So I'm gonna put some Swiss chard in. Look what is going on. You see that? That cucumber was bound and determined to grow. It's growing in just the grooves of this tray. And I'm gonna see if I can take him out without hurting him and plant him. I don't know which variety he is, obviously, but we'll see how he does. Oh, here's another one. He's kind of got the seed casing is still stuck on his cotyledon leaves. There we go. There's another one. I'm gonna go ahead and pop him in too, why not? He's so little, he'll probably get eaten by a slug or a pill bug. All right, now let's see if we can do some surgery on this guy. Ah. Ooh. Look at that. Just growing in the grooves of the 1020 because I had spilled some soil down there. Okay. Also in this tray, when I started the cucumbers, I did start some zinnia seeds. Don't they look good? You can see some of the roots. I love soil blocks. They're like dirt brownies. They're so awesome. And I used, to make these, I used a Swift blocker, soil blocker, which is awesome because you can fill it, and then you press out the soil blocks, and you can do a bunch in a short period of time, unlike with like a traditional soil blocker, where you can do usually, not as many at a time. Let's see. Sean, good morning. Why not? Why not? Most of my gardening philosophy is, why not? All right, so then I need to find a spot for these zinnias. Let's walk around. This bed doesn't get as much sun as I would like, so it is definitely rolling the dice putting the cucumbers here, but I'm gonna try and find a sunnier spot for the zinnias. Okay. I did a bunch of garden cleanup the other day. Look at all that. That's all headed to the compost. Those were fall sown calendula that were not looking so great anymore. Ooh, you know what? I'm thinking I might put some zinnias in this bed. This is where a bunch of the calendula was. And the calendula dropped seed. And I'll pull one out just to show you. The calendula dropped seed, and so a bunch of little baby calendulas are growing in here. But let's go ahead and pop in some of the zinnias in the soil blocks. These are Oklahoma variety. I really love the Oklahoma zinnia variety because they're super full, like I guess you would call them doubles. I have the Oklahoma white and the Oklahoma pink. Sean is all about lazy chaos gardening. Me too. Yes, very much. All right. It's 2 zinnia. Where are we going to put the last one? All right, and then so today I think I'm going to do some math. I'm going to figure out how many days I have until my first frost, which is usually November 1st. And then I'm going to look at some of my seed packets and figure out what I have time to add into the garden right now. I could probably do some chickpeas, maybe some black beans. I could do some pole beans, bush beans. I'm probably going to start more zinnias and sunflowers because why not? The snapdragons are getting ready to be like totally done and something could go in their spot. And then you know what? We're dog sitting, so the dogs are especially excited. Okay. I don't know what I was going to say. I already forgot. It's going to be fall seed starting time soon. So I probably need to sit down and go ahead and figure out what I'm going to start in August for my fall and winter garden, which will be a bunch of things like kale and chard and carrots. I won't start carrots. I'll direct sow those. Kale and chard. What else do I like to sow in the fall? Hey, bugger. But anyway, we've got the cucumbers in the ground. We got the zinnias in the ground. And now I'm going to go figure out what else I can start. Like, let's just go start some more plants. I am going to pot up the Swiss chard into bigger pots and let them get a little bit bigger before I put them in the garden. Just because I'm so worried about the slugs and the roly-polies eating them when they're little. All right, you guys, enjoy your Saturday.